Each week at this time in our program, we do something called a community moment, where we welcome a member of our Oasis community to share kind of a brief thought for the day. It started off as people telling their stories of their journey to free thought, but then it morphed into people sharing ideas from books they've read or life experiences they've had, and it's a time for us to kind of grow together from the diversity of wisdom and experiences here in our community, hearing from different voices each week. This week, our community moment is going to be presented by not an Oasis, a Houston Oasis person, but a Kansas City Oasis friend, a very good friend of ours, James Morgan. Some of you got to meet him on the Oasis cruise. And James and Michelle are in town because Michelle's going to be our main speaker. But James kind of headed up, James, both of you together, kind of headed up the community group program in Kansas City that we're going to be launching here. So I thought, while he's in town, let's hear a little bit about community moments from the folks that kind of got it going. So let's give a warm welcome to Houston to our Kansas City Oasis friend, James Morgan.
So it's been almost 2 years now since my wife and I left the church and left our religion of over 20 years. And those first few weeks and months were particularly challenging for a number of reasons, not the least of which being just the social isolation that we experienced. We were very involved in our church, both of us on staff, and had hundreds of people that looked up to us and admired us, and we had a great social life, very rich, lots of friends, and all of that came to a screeching halt. And so those first few months were challenging, and one of the things that truly saved us, in a sense, was finding the Oasis community. It's not overstating it to say that it truly changed our lives to find people that were thinking about the world in similar ways to ours, and all of a sudden we had friends and a social calendar again, and it really made all the difference. And I guess we shouldn't have been surprised that Oasis was able to accomplish that for us, because the official Oasis statement on a website somewhere written down, I'm sure, is that Oasis exists to cultivate a secular alternative to faith-based community that provides opportunities for education, community, and human empowerment. And so, two different times in that statement is the idea of community, of bringing people together to create relationships. And it makes sense that is the mission statement for Oasis, because really everything flows from community. If you really think about it, it's such an important thing. How do you really get anything done? Together we can do more. So community is such a big component of that. And so therein, I think, really lies our strength as a movement, is the idea of building community. If you're going to imagine this thing getting bigger and bigger as more and more communities come online over the years, and we begin to truly provide a place of community that's an alternative to faith-based community, I think it's a beautiful thing. If it can make a difference in other people's lives the way it made in our lives, it's so important. And so if you think about how Oasis as a network is going to grow, it's probably not going to be our spectacular speakers on Sunday morning, although this morning's going to be particularly good. And as wonderful as the music was today, I thought that was just marvelous. Morning concerts, I don't know if that's ever going to really catch on as a thing. And we're up against, if you think about what we're up against as an organization, as a movement, people have their own CD player, they've got Spotify on their phone. If they want to listen to fantastic music, it's not hard to do. If you want to hear good speaking, you can go to YouTube and hear world-class speaking. If you want to be entertained, you've got movies that can be downloaded to your computer in a matter of moments. And so those are probably not the ways that we're going to really get attention. What do we have that people don't typically have through an app or through their computer? And the answer to that is community, it's relationships. And so I really think that if we're going to grow and make a change and be the change in the world, that it's going to come through the relationships that we build through community. And so that's what we're talking about here. That's the purpose of the community group program that we've launched at Oasis. And so I'd like to do just very quickly an idea of exactly how it works. Like, how do we do that. It's one thing to say, well, we're going to create community, we're going to create relationships. How does that exactly take place? And I think for us, the biggest component is Sunday morning. This is the big venue that we do each week. And so when my wife and I first found Oasis, we went to a Sunday morning event, and it was good. What was better was lunch afterwards, to be honest with you. We go to Crown Center in Kansas City, and that's where we got to actually talk and share our story and hear other stories. And that was really the catalyst for our transformation. But so the way that we create community at Oasis, Sunday morning is a big part of it. But you also have there people are camping this week, and you've got midweek dinners. I know you do that here, we do that in Kansas City. So I thought we invented the midweek dinner. That's not ours. Seems so out there. So you've got all these different things that create opportunities for you to meet other people. So here's one more that we think can really be instrumental, and that's this idea of community groups within Oasis. And this is something that you guys are launching here, and you may have some questions about exactly how it works. And so very quickly, just kind of laying these things out, I guess we just start with like, what is it? What is a community group? So, 8 to 12 people meeting once a week, various nights and homes around our city. Why? For the purpose of exploring new ideas and building stronger relationships. It's so simple, it's so organic. You just find the group that works best for you. They're all covering the same material each week. And so you just find the one that works for the best night of the week, best time, best location, and you just show up. And there's nothing really formal about it. You're just going to hang out and get to know people. And so what we've done is just to create a curriculum, that's too strong a word, but just to create a vehicle that gets people talking and sharing. Because it's one thing to get people in a room and then you're all staring at one another and just it's kind of awkward. How's the weather? It's been warm lately and all. No, we don't want to do that. Nobody wants that. So how do they work? So typically, the way they've worked the last 2 semesters for us in Kansas City is we've got a 6-minute video that we show. We find something online. We've been using a group of videos called The School of Life that we really like. They're short, pithy, fun, clever, and thought-provoking. So you watch this 6-minute video. This time around, you guys are watching videos on important philosophers. And then there's just a series of discussion questions. And they're not questions that are designed to like, did you really pay attention? What was his middle name? It's nothing like that. It's just based on that philosopher's ideas. What are some questions that can just get us talking about our lives and sharing our stories so that we get to know one another better and bonds and relationships are formed. So you watch a video for 6 minutes, you discuss it. If time permits, you watch another one, you discuss it, you eat, you laugh, you have some food and fun, all of that. That's what we've been doing at our house. Michelle and I, we live about 50 miles away from Kansas City Oasis, but we launched one in our town of St. Joseph, Missouri, which is a cultural epicenter for the U.S. And it's where Jesse James, it's where the Pony Express started and Jesse James stopped. That's our claim to fame. Anyhow, and it has been so fantastic. We have really, we've really made some great relationships and some good friends. So I really want to encourage you to consider signing up for a group. If you go and it sucks, you don't have to go back, right? It's not a great commitment, but really the groups are as good as we are. So if you go with the idea of wanting to get to know other people and share your life and hear their stories, I think it's going to be phenomenal. So what's the easiest way to sign up? Simply this, and you can do it right now on your phone if you want, or you can jot that down or take a quick picture of the screen, oasistogether.org. If you go there, you'll see a list of all the groups that are available. You're just going to choose one. All right? Don't make, with some people, just click everything. Just stop clicking everything. Choose the one that works best for you. They're all basically the same. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to do more than one, if you're a social junkie, you could. There's nothing wrong with that. But you go to oasistogether.org, sign up for the group, and you'll get information on where it is and timing and location, and you just show up and you work hard to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else. Certainly don't want it to happen to you. What was what we said last night? Being alone sucks. That's the tagline for the community groups. Being alone sucks. So thanks a lot for the time to share with you this morning. I really do hope you get involved in the groups. Relationships are so important for us. We're relational creatures, and I think it's the thing that we can offer that Facebook can't. All right.